The Buffalo Bills went to 4 straight Super Bowls, and they lost every single one. And I don't know if there is a harder thing to do in the NFL than to go, lose, come back, lose worse, go back, lose even worse, and still have the mental fortitude to get there 4 straight years. Tell me about what it was about that team with Marv Levy and all those Hall of Famers that were with you that gave you guys the mental strength to keep just fighting uphill.
Well, without a doubt, number one was our head coach, Marv Levy. Always had the right things to say at the right time. I know we didn't win any of them, but the bottom line is the attitude that we had, the leadership that we had on our team, not just, with me being the quarterback and being the leader of the offense, but having guys like Darryl Talley, Bruce Smith, Thurman, Andre, and the guys that we have, Ken Hall, probably one of our biggest leaders, God rest his soul. What the bottom line was, after we lost that first one, we knew we were a good football team, but we also knew that, we have to work a little harder in the offseason. So we did, and we wind up coming back. And then I think after we lost that second one, I think the chip that we had on our shoulder was nobody wanted us back, and we just wanted to tick everybody off and tell it the way it is. We wanted to piss everybody off and go back again, and we did that 4 in a row. And I think the biggest thing that I wasn't sure of was after losing a couple of them, I knew physically that all my teammates would be working their tail off because those paychecks were very good back in the day. But you never
They're even
know.
better now.
Oh my goodness. I don't even want to go there. Oh boy. And you got that right. That's why I'm still working. But the thing is, Trey, as you probably know too, is the mental approach. When you hear all the time, the Buffalo Bills and, the offseason, all the negativity that you hear, I think it does even more pumped up to go back again. And I wasn't sure how some of my teammates would handle it. I had an idea, but you never know. And as I said before, physically, I knew they were going to be ready, but mentally, we weren't sure. It didn't take me very long to recognize that in training camp that these guys wanted to get back again. And we did it. But again, it was the leadership of Marv Levy and all of us pulled together. And I'll tell you what, we're so close today. I don't think we would be as close today if we would have won a couple of those. The camaraderie we had in that locker room, and more importantly, probably away from the locker room, was so important why we were so successful.
Yeah, one of the things that always stuck with me was after Super Bowl 28, it was at the Atlanta, Georgia Dome, and we were downstairs in the bowels of the stadium, and people were doing their post-game interviews. And I'll never forget this as long as I live, Jim. Darryl Talley was at the podium, and the reporter asked a very specific question. What is it like to come to 4 straight Super Bowls and lose all 4 in a row? And Talley paused for a minute, and he looked into the camera and said, well, it's a bitch if you really must know. I mean, how much did it sting your guys' pride that you went 4 straight times and you just couldn't find a way to get over the hump?
Oh, it still hurts. You know what? When I watch, when it's come close to Super Bowl days, you know how they replay all the Super Bowls back and they have, 10, 15, 20 minutes of each Super Bowl. When it comes to Super Bowl 25 and on, I don't even watch them. I have yet to watch that game, any of those Super Bowls ever. I thought maybe one day I would watch with my son, but as you may or may not know, Hunter, my son, is in heaven now. And I never got that chance, and I never went back and watched it again. And I'm very good at when negative things enter my mind, I automatically very good at pushing them aside and changing my thought process into something positive. And not only doing, throwing interceptions, and that's, I think, one of the things that I was able to get over, throwing a pick and coming back and rallying the team behind it, but with my life in general. You think about it, you learn from it, you move on. And I've been very good at being able to move forward and not, sit there and dread, having to think about those losses, thinking about the loss of my son, thinking about my battle 3 times with cancer. I move on, try to make whoever's around me a better person by learning from what I went through. So it's all part of life.
You've been through a lot, and I'm just trying to figure out if there was one moment, because people always look at wide right, and I get that it was a 47-yard kick. there's a lot of pressure on that. I get that. In that first Super Bowl, I remember when Bruce Smith had Jeff Hostetler dead to rights and how he didn't fumble that ball. Or the Super Bowl 28, start the second half, and you guys are up 13-6, and then Thurman puts it on the ground, and they run it back for a touchdown for the Dallas Cowboys. James Washington does. Was there one moment, or in Super Bowl 27 when you got hurt and had to leave the field in that game? Was there one moment in all of those Super Bowls that stung more than any of the others?
Boy, I knew how good we were during Super Bowl 26 when we faced the Washington Redskins, but unfortunately, we were hitting them at their peak. I mean, they were rocking and rolling, and we just went into that game thinking we were going to have to play a perfect game, and unfortunately, we didn't. I mean, we had a very good year that year all before. What probably made me more mad than anything, a lot of those teams we played during the regular season, we beat them, and then all of a sudden we played them during the real Super Bowl. Unfortunately, the NFC East always had a dagger in our back, and they made it go through it. But no, you know what? When I was a little kid, when I grew up in Pennsylvania watching the Steelers and watching them win the Super Bowl, I was one of those little kids that would lead my team down the field when I was 10, 11 years old and 2 minutes to go in the Super Bowl and all that. Well, that happened to me in Super Bowl 25. There was 2 minutes to go in the Super Bowl, and I'm leading my team down the field to win the Super Bowl. And as we all well know, let them down there, kick went wide right, and we lost. But you know what? I am so proud to say I played for the Buffalo Bills. And I'm so proud to know that every teammate that I was with and all the coaches that were on that team, we never, ever gave up. And we kept our focus. And we said, we're going to do this. We're going to do it again. And unfortunately, as we all know, it never worked out. But I'll tell you what, I'm proud to say I'm a Buffalo Bill, and I always will be.